Ready? Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here from the UDL as we come down the stretch here for UDL shows, man. We're getting over to the new DL. Things are starting to happen over there. It looks like things are going to become real over the next couple of days. Good morning. Thank you for starting your day with us. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, JordyCulottasShow.com, hit that like button, comment button, share button, as we have a lot to get to today. Will Wade will be here at 7:30 this morning. Coach Wade and the crew going to hit the road for Auburn, Alabama today. They will tip that game off tomorrow night inside of the jungle, 6 p.m. It tips off on Auburn's campus. We will be there live. The Balcony Bengals will be there. I will be there. Little Jay will be there. Kelly will be there. We're going down at about lunchtime tomorrow. So we're trying to pull up to the arena right around tip time. As we'll walk in there.
You gave yourself leeway one way or the other?
Coach, not a lot.
You're planning to go right in there.
We got a meeting tomorrow morning, and I'm hoping that doesn't run too long. And then hopefully as soon as that thing wraps, we're on the road.
I was just saying, if anybody needs wiggle room, it's you.
Yeah, we'll see,
he likes to make a little room for himself.
Ben Mintz, it was good to see Mincy last night over at LeBaire. She was over at the sports book. We were watching the Dolphins and Saints.
Yeah,
Saints, bro. I mean,
all of our bets went down in flames last night, including Mincy.
That was the replacements, man. I mean, that was
the only thing
a couple of insurance agents trying to protect.
Yeah, dude, you had the mailman playing left tackle.
That's what we didn't think about. We talked a lot about the quarterback position. Talked a lot about who was missing on defense. We did not nary mention the offensive line, and that turned out to be the difference.
Sean Payton said he had guys getting fitted for pads before the game started. They were going to play.
It's crazy that the NFL is all about safety first, and you got guys trying on their
you'll never see these guys again.
Right?
Doesn't matter.
Get them in, get them out.
Unbelievable.
Have a day.
Here's your game check.
I played in the NFL. You know who I am?
It's going to be tough to compete on the NFL level when you're missing as many guys as the Saints were. I'm telling you, at halftime, we all looked up. We were watching the game together at LeBaire's last night next to Mincy, and we all looked up, and the fact that it was 10-3 at halftime is a testament to Sean Payton of how good of a coach he is.
I mean, he fooled me. I went and got the plus 350 for the Saints to win outright at halftime.
He had Mikey convinced.
Yeah, he had me convinced.
Second half back.
Obviously didn't work out.
Ian Book's second pass of the night, I think, was kind of indicative of what was to come for the New Orleans Saints. A bad pass. Book was just kind of didn't know what he was looking
a little
at.
bit.
Right,
It looked like Andrew Hatch
He
out
didn't know.
there.
I'm surprised he didn't go under the guard.
It was replacements type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
First game
tough to watch.
replacements.
Hey, how crazy have you did the Notre Dame quarterback stat? There hasn't, I think the Notre Dame quarterbacks are 0 for their last 22, maybe even more games than that starting quarterbacks. The last starting quarterback from Notre Dame to get a win was Brady Quinn in 2012.
You dick.
God.
There goes the trivia.
Oh.
It's
You got to let me know.
Great stat, though.
You got to let me know.
That's good.
Brady Quinn.
2012, Coach. That's
the
9
Browns?
years. Almost 10 years ago.
Browns.
Yeah.
Wow. How many of, I guess, DeShone Kizer has played? I was
He
wondering
had
how
the
many.
most. He had the most starts without winning one.
Is he still in the league?
No.
He had DeShone Kizer, Jimmy Clausen, Ian Book. Obviously, you had
Brady Quinn.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it.
Brian Kelly in attendance last night to watch Book, his former Notre
Carlisle
Dame
Holiday.
pupil, cut his teeth in the NFL. I don't know if Book would have been any good behind a healthy New Orleans Saints, but last night's a tough evaluation for a rookie behind that offensive line. Sacked 8 times, a couple of bad turnovers. Saints fall 20-3 on Monday night, and now 7-8 on the season with a couple of games remaining here in the regular season. They were trying to keep pace with Philadelphia for that last spot in the NFC wildcard race. That fell last night in the loss to the Dolphins. Panthers and Falcons still on the Saints schedule for the regular season, but Dolphins winners of 7 straight. I know that, look, man, I know that they hadn't played a lot of people, but
good. You have stuff to win.
It is hard to win NFL football games. It doesn't matter if you're playing the Jets or you're playing the Patriots. It's tough to win. And the fact that they've reeled off now 7 straight after starting the season the way that they did is pretty impressive, man. I mean, that's a physical defense.
You can only control who's on your schedule.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't – it's not your fault that your schedule is how it is and how the teams aren't very good. And they have beaten the teams on their schedule. I think they beat the Ravens in this 7-game winning streak, which is probably their best win during this streak. But still, I mean, 1-7 to 8-7 is, I mean, that's a big turnaround.
Very impressive,
Yeah.
man. Very impressive. New Orleans Saints last night fall to the Dolphins, and as we said, Dolphins now winners of 7 straight and have set themselves up for an AFC playoff push here towards the end of the regular season.
Who did they finish with? Y'all know?
Let me see. I can pull it up right here. But the Saints, man, you know, I don't know what the expectation is for the remainder of the season and what'll happen with their personnel and who they'll get back and what's going to go on with Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian. But not that it's time to pack this thing up, but it is almost time to start looking towards the draft.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
you'd assume that these guys would be back next week with this COVID stuff. The CDC just dropped the quarantine time to 5 days, so you would assume that all these guys out would be able to be back next week. And I know the chances of making the playoffs aren't very high, but you're a professional, you're competitive. Like, you go 9-8 in this type of season, and you have like a season where you've on your 4th quarterback and your 8th offensive lineman, like 9-8, that's a success. And like, I mean, I know you worried about draft positions, but you can't. You can't just tank. You know what I mean?
Dolphins at the Titans, and then finish up at home versus the Patriots. So a couple of
big games.
A couple of ways to look at that. If you're the Dolphins and you're looking to get into the playoffs really start now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing the Titans and the Patriots going into the postseason,
Dolphins always play the Patriots tough.
I was about to say that they always have the Patriots
always
number.
play them tough.
They do.
Even when Tom was there.
And even like when they were bad.
Yep.
The Rob Gronkowski tackle.
All right, I appreciate you starting your day with us. Make sure and hit your like, share, comment button here. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by True Blue Water, TRUBluewater.com. If you want to get on the delivery route today, very convenient, whether it is residential or for your office, get in touch with them. TRUBluewater.com. Tell them you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Our official spice is Papa Earl's, 30% less sodium than the competition. Papa Earl's you can pick up anywhere you shop locally. High Neighbor, Calandro's, Rouse's. Shop Papa Earl's here in South Louisiana, as you can find them anywhere where you pick up your groceries. Metropolitan Health Group, Will Wade will be here at 7:30 this morning. We will begin to preview this Auburn-LSU matchup. And I got to tell you, man, I am really starting to get amped up to get down to Auburn to watch this game. I think it's going to be a fantastic college basketball game in late December when you think about conference play cranking up all over the country, and LSU is going to open up with I think the SEC is going to feature the 2 best teams on opening night playing one another, at least the 2 best teams up to this point. The basketball season can be a hell of a roller coaster ride for as far as kind of the structure of power within a league, especially at the top. But it looks like going in to SEC play that Auburn and LSU are kind of the elite of the class. Alabama right there in the same discussion with them. But what a treat it will be to get this matchup in late December for college basketball fans, as you'll see LSU and Auburn. And we'll talk to Will Wade here in a couple of minutes, and we'll dive more into the matchup. And not that we'll push Wade to give away his game plan or ask him some of the matchups, but it does seem like that Wade very much is always looking for the advantage on the front line, right? Guys like Efton Reed, Darius Days, Tari Eason are frontline players for LSU right now. You could hear last week when we asked him about it, maybe it was early, it was last week when we were talking after the Lipscomb game when he was having a chance now to talk about Auburn. It was still early in the scouting process. But one thing that jumped out to him was the ability for Auburn to match up with LSU on that front line, right? Guys like Kessler and Jabari Smith and other guys that they can run at you in this Bruce Pearl rotation. We'll ask him a little bit more about that as far as tomorrow night's matchup goes at Auburn, and just some of the things that I think worry him. I think that Will has seen some habits of his team, and I think that was the answer last week. That everybody kind of jumped on and was riding with about, look, if they continue to do some things like turn the ball all over and play careless in offensive stretches and just kind of piss away offensive possessions, then, stuff like that is going to get you beat at Auburn. I mean, that was the soundbite last week that really kind of, lived on was, if you don't want to live in the world of facts, that's just the facts. When he was kind of giving you, if we play like we played tonight or if we play like we did in stretches tonight, that stuff at Auburn is going to get us beat. Speaking from Wade's point of view about his team and talking about how, the roof will implode on LSU tomorrow night inside of that arena in the jungle, what they call it, which will be, 10,000 strong raining down on. As much as I can't wait to see the game, I can't wait to see the arena and the atmosphere.
The first 5 minutes of that game is going to be so intense. Like, this is the first SEC game. It's two of the, like you said, the two top teams in the SEC as of now. I mean, let's say first 2 minutes is going to be physical. Yeah. All the adrenaline. You're going to be running up and down the court. It is going to be
have an
fun.
NBA feel to it.
Yeah.
I mean, just like
they're going to settle. They'll settle in, but like
athletes.
that initial tip is going to be hot.
You got lottery picks.
Yeah.
You got lottery picks on the floor. You got guys that are potential first. I mean, Tari Eason now is starting to creep into the back end of first round mock drafts, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the season, he could be right there from 14 to 20. He could be a fringe lottery pick if he keeps on the trajectory that he's on. Jabari Smith, like we said, has shot up draft boards. Some discussions have him as potential number one picks. I know Banchero and our guy up at Chet Holmgren up at Gonzaga are kind of holding it down. But I mean, Jabari Smith's made a run at him in the first 12 games of the season. So I mean, they will be NBA players on the floor tomorrow night playing, an SEC basketball game.
Do you think this is Christmas Day feel from Warriors Cavs? Do you remember that game when it was back and forth for they were just running and taking it out the goal and going back and forth up the court, or is this a little in the basket game?
I think it's going to be a little bit. I think it's going to be running and gunning, but I think it's going to be like physical, in your grill type defense, and it's going to be tough shots, but I think their shots are going to be made. I don't think it's going to be like a 95-90 game. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the first 5 minutes, guys are going to be
gassed,
and they're going to be bumping and pushing each other. It's going to be nice.
Well, I mean, look, these are two teams that are recruited very similar. If you look at these two teams in the roster and kind of the way that they're put together, they are long, they are athletic, they can run. The defense, they like to stretch the floor, right? I mean, like Wade and LSU like to get in these three-quarter defensive traps where they pressure the ball. Auburn's the same way. That leads into a lot of alley-oops. That leads to a lot of dunks. That leads to a lot of, high-flying athleticism. Ball's going to be moving in the air. A lot of guys going to be running. I mean, 94 feet doesn't feel like long enough tomorrow night. I mean, these guys are going to make 94 feet of basketball would look like, your driveway, right? I mean, the way that they're going to be moving around and playing above the rim tomorrow night. Just a lot of athletes, a lot of big-time basketball players with, like we said, look, man, playing the first of what is going to be 20 SEC games, and they get each other off the top rope, right? Fresh, ready, no school. I mean, really, they are pro basketball players right now. I mean, all you're really doing is hoop. I mean, you're going from film to rehab to on-the-floor training to the nutrition center, back to film, back to rehab. I mean, all of that stuff is centered around nothing but basketball right now. And your first tip-off is at Auburn if you're LSU. And if you're Auburn, you're hosting LSU, who comes in as the only undefeated SEC squad. I mean, the storylines are everywhere, man. They're everywhere.
This feels like a Tari Eason game. Because we talked about how physical the defenses are and how much they like to extend the court and they like to put pressure on you. And you have obviously your two guards. You're going to have X and you're going to have
Gaines.
But you're going to need somebody else to be able to handle the ball, but probably going to be a bigger guy because he's going to have to get the ball in the middle. He's going to be the guy to try to break it. And Tari Eason can handle the ball. He can take it from one end of the court to the other, and I think that's going to be a huge thing. Is he's going to have to be there and be able to to finagle that.
It is also going to be strong on strong, best on best.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to look at Auburn's offense, who's coming in right now, averaging 80 points a game over the last 6 in which they've won at home, to LSU, who is giving up a second best in the country, only 54 points a game. So, I mean, you're getting a couple of alphas, right? An alpha offense versus an alpha defense. Now, I would give a little bit of the nudge to Auburn because of the home floor. I think in basketball it means a little something when you've got guys, when you've got your crowd, kind of as close as they are to the action like they will be tomorrow night.
Is basketball home court the most important home court in sports?
I think probably when you say it out loud and you can kind of spell out all the variables. I mean, obviously playing on the road in a football environment means something when you've got to communicate, you've got to be in a huddle, and you've got to talk to people. But as far as an atmosphere like this, where, everybody's on top of you, let's say that there's 10,000 people there tomorrow night. LSU's probably got, 700 fans? Tops.
Probably, yeah.
At least 2.
For sure.
Balcony Bengals will be there.
Yeah, I mean, I know 100 that are going. Right? But I mean, like
popular guy.
some Auburn. Well, I wish I don't know 100 that are personally going, but there are people going that I could count up to about 100
of my closest friends.
Right. Y'all know me.
92,000.
The social butterfly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Got skated in the middle of the first quarter yesterday.
Yeah, right. But I know that there was a lot of people going from LSU. But then you think about like the Auburn around that area. There's a lot of people in Birmingham that are all, or a lot of people in Alabama that are LSU fans. So I'd imagine that would bring some people in. But we are going to be in the epic minority, right? Like, I mean, we are going to be outnumbered incredibly. So, I mean, the atmosphere is going to definitely be accounted for.
If you're Will Wade, you have to preach, the first 5 minutes just to get through it? You just don't want it to go you don't want it to go poorly. You want to kind of – do you bring the fight to them, or you just want to hold?
I think if you're Will Wade, you say, hey, this is the first 5 minutes are us. You take the crowd out of it. You say, you know what, we're going to come in here and we're going to punch them right in the mouth.
Run.
And they're gonna have to work their ass off to be able to bring the crowd back into it. Because if you go out there and you say, we go on this little run – and you kind of subdue the crowd a little bit, I think that's going to help.
We'll ask Wade what the message is on fast starts for him. I know that there has been an emphasis on this because coming out of last week, it was crazy. LSU was ranked 80th nationally in points scored in the first half. They were ranked 9th in second half points scored. So there is an obvious kind of disparity between the way that they are playing half by half, and somebody who is so psychoanalytic like Will Wade is, I got to imagine that type of stat, like really and truly, probably keeps him up at night. Like that probably like haunts his sleep of his team starting slow. Loves the fact how they finish, right? I mean, like they finish strong, they play well in the last 20 minutes of the game, but in games like they're stepping into tomorrow night where a team can get out and knock down buckets at a rapid rate like Auburn can, if you start slow, no disrespect, but that's not Louisiana Tech on the other sideline where if they're making baskets like Louisiana Tech was early, you'll just kind of wait for them to fizzle out and your athleticism will take over. That ain't happening tomorrow night. If Auburn's knocking down shots and they are in that place is rowdy and behind them, they can do that for 40 minutes. And LSU won't have the luxury of having kind of that grace period to, hey, wake up. You know what I mean? Like snap out of it. Because by the time you wake up, you might be down 25 and they're off and running. So it is interesting to see. And we will ask Will Wade what the message has been and what he has seen in his analytics that maybe has, pressed that slow start for his team, and what has he seen to the other side of the scale that has made his team so active and so good in the last 20 minutes of the game. Brian Burgess says, as late as Jordy is for his own show, he better give himself some leeway for that drive to Auburn tomorrow. That's a good point, Brian. That is a good point. Don T says both teams physical. This will be a matchup for Eason tomorrow night. This has Tari Eason spelled all over it. I agree. Big-time players have to show up. Hold the Mayo says, I'm about to ask Freds to send me. You should. That would be that'd be a good promotion for Freds. We're sending the Balcony Bengals. I don't know if you saw the video, but the Balcony Bengals put it out. We repopulated it on our social media, but they are hitting the road today, and they're going to be in Auburn tomorrow for the game, getting some content. We'll have that stuff
They have a whole
up
day
for you,
before.
to move around. So
Can I
they'll
go to
actually
Sky Bar a
travel
little bit?
today after
dangerous.
work. They'll travel today after work. So I think the latest guy gets off at 5:30, and they'll hit the road.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they get to Auburn probably about 11-ish tonight, which is
Kind of perfect.
Straight to
kinda
Sky
perfect.
Bar.
straight to the
Absolutely.
bars.
Drop the bags at the Holiday
Straight
Inn
right
or
there
what
to
have
Toomer's
you.
Corner to all the spots. Wake up tomorrow morning. You're already
Feel like
settled
hell.
into the spot. Yeah, absolutely.
Take down a little Bloody Mary.
Get you a late breakfast.
Yeah.
Get you some good energy for the day. Get to the arena early. Get set up. Next thing you know, you're
Kind
on.
of jealous.
Are they bringing the wool
your
weight?
tip time,
Are they
yeah.
bringing the wool weight thing?
They're bringing the whole thing.
The general.
They're bringing everything.
That thing might get. There's going to
Sure.
be a
It's gonna
game
get
where that
confiscated?
thing gets
Yeah.
confiscated for
well,
sure.
on the road. At home, it won't be.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you bring that thing into Auburn, and it doesn't go Auburn's way. Those fans will start ripping arms off of the old general.
We'll have backups. We'll figure out some backups.
It's gonna be a hell of an atmosphere tomorrow. It's gonna be a hell of an environment.
I don't
know
think
what
you're
mean?
overselling it. It's going to be
No,
wild.
you won't. You're not overselling it.
I think
you may be underselling
I think I
it.
might be underselling it. I really do. I mean, I'm looking at some of just kind of the.
March Madness feel.
I was looking at the tickets where we were sitting, and I was kind of making sure that we weren't like in the middle of the student section or something, that I wasn't, walking into a volcano.
The trap.
Right. But I mean, like some of the videos and some of the images that come out of the arena, of the jungle is what they call it, I mean, are not intimidating, but it is true home court advantage. Like they understand the emphasis of home court advantage in college basketball. And like I said, LSU is pushing for basketball upgrades from a facility standpoint. And Will Wade is kind of zeroed in on Auburn as the blueprint. In fact, we'll ask him about it next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders, our friends over at RMB, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew. RMB-builders.com. Whether you're looking to renovate your home, whether you're looking for a brand new home, or you need a remodel job or just some handiwork done around the house, get in touch with RMB Builders. RMB-builders.com is where you find them online. Their Facebook site is great. You can see a lot of before-afters. And, look, we've worked with Rhett a couple of times. The house flooded. We're getting into a new studio. All along that process, Rhett has kind of held our hand, and he's been easy to work with. Communication is very clear and transparent. He's easy to get in touch with, responds to text messages immediately. He gives you a call back. He gets in touch with you if anything changes. All the peace of mind you're looking for in a general contractor, Rhett Bourgeois provides you that when you work with RMB Builders. RMB-builders.com. Will Wade, next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's T-R-U, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. T-R-U, bluewater.com. LSU slides up a spot in the AP poll, which makes tomorrow night's matchup a top 16 matchup, as LSU number 16 traveling into Auburn Arena as War Eagle number 11 in the country right now. This is strong on strong, best on best. As we told you, Auburn averaging 80 points over the last 6 games in which they have won at home, and LSU giving up a second best in the country, only 54 points per game. Will Wade, who is the head coach of the basketball squad over in Baton Rouge at LSU, joins us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, that presented by Phil's Oyster Bar here on Travel Day. Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing good, Coach. First and foremost, I know that you last night gave an update on Tari Eason, your star. You expect him to go. How is his health going into Auburn tomorrow night?
I mean, he practiced well yesterday. He practiced well on Sunday, so we expect him to be, ready to roll at Auburn. And barring anything happen between now and game time, we feel good about him being able to play his best.
Coach, when you watch this Auburn offense play, we mentioned that they're averaging 80 points per game going into tomorrow night's contest. They pass the ball very efficiently. When you see this Auburn offense play, what is the challenge that they present to your defense?
Well, first off, they've got great personnel. They've got a great scheme. And so, you combine those two, you've got a really good offense. The two, I mean, Zeb Jasper, the transfer from College of Charleston, he starts at point guard for him. He has like 6 turnovers in his last 250 minutes. He's averaging like 1 turnover every 50 minutes, which is incredible, which is like 1 turnover a game, obviously, a little less than 1 turnover a game. They shoot it really well from 3. Devin Cambridge shoots well. KD Johnson, the transfer from Georgia, does a great job attacking the rim and drawing fouls. Then obviously Jabari Smith, and he could be the number 1 pick in the draft. He's shooting 45% from 3, makes a ton of jump shots, makes a ton of plays. And then they've got Kessler, who does a great job rolling and getting out of the rolls and being able to get to the front of the rim on rolls. And then he's an elite shot blocker. If you look at the metrics, he's the best rim protector in the entire country. Just in terms of the shots, not only he blocks, but the shots he affects and where he makes teams shoot from. So, they've got really, really good personnel, and they're deep. They play 10 guys. Wendell Green, the other point guard, transferred from Eastern Kentucky. He can shoot it from extremely, extremely deep. They've got their two backup bigs were basically their 2 starting bigs last year. I hadn't even mentioned Flanagan, who's a first-team All-SEC player, who's coming back and played a little bit against Murray. I'm sure he'll play a little bit more against us. So they got a great roster. They got a great coach. They got a great system, and that's what makes them really, really good.
Coach, through the first 12 games of the season, you were 81st nationally in first half efficiency offensively. You were 9th nationally in second half. What in your analytics has shown to you the kind of the tale of 2 halves that you are through the first 12 games of the season? Why the slow starts?
Well, I mean, we've gotten better. We got off to a better start against Lipscomb. Quite frankly, we've just missed some easier shots. Yeah. It's taken us a little while to get going in the games. We've missed some easy, some easy looks. We haven't drawn enough fouls. We haven't gotten to the free throw line enough to compensate for some of our easy misses. And so, we've got to do a better job. We've got to do a better job of that. A slow start tomorrow night will doom us. So we've got to get off to a good start. We got to have some good movement early, some good sets early. We've got to be on point with that.
How much do you count on guys that have been there before? I know some of your starting lineup are guys that are for the first time will see environments like this, whether it was because of the COVID restrictions last year or the fact that they're just true freshmen. How much do you rely on your veterans tomorrow night?
A ton. I mean, I've talked to X and talked to Days and said, look, you guys are the only 2 I got that have been in anything like this. That we got to rely on those guys a lot. They've been in those environments. They can have a calming influence and make sure that we stay grounded and stay tight with what we're doing and stick to our plan. And so, I got no doubt we're going to play extremely hard. Auburn plays extremely hard. It's going to be 2 hard playing teams. It's just, are we going to play with the focus and the discipline necessary to pull something off in that type environment. And so that's what we've really tried to focus on these last couple of days. It's just, playing with great discipline, still playing with great energy, but having the discipline and the focus and the composure that we're going to need in that type environment.
The secondary market for these tickets is out of control right now. I mean, they're going for almost $500 a piece. We are sending the Balcony Bengals up there, which is a student group who has followed you guys all over the place. There is a large LSU contingency heading to Auburn tomorrow night. I'd imagine that it will be 10,000 strong. What do you expect from the environment, and how do you prepare your team for what they are walking into?
I think our team's about sick of listening to the Auburn fight song. We've had that, and I didn't actually know the War Eagle was an actual cheer, but our managers, they get all the audio from student sections and all this stuff. So we've been playing that on loop in practice. In fact, somebody was scared to walk in. Like, I didn't know what was going on in practice. I didn't even walk through the doors. But I said, no, it's just Auburn crowd noise. So we've been trying to simulate it as best we can, but nothing takes care of the real thing. So yeah. It'll be obviously be a lot different than what we've simulated in practice, but we've tried our best to. I told our guys we got to operate. We got to operate in chaos. Like, we have to be able to operate in chaos and have to be able to think and have to be able to move and do what we do in a chaotic setting.
From an arena standpoint, this is kind of like what new age college basketball looks like, right? I mean, this Auburn arena is kind of, I know they took a lot of seats out, but from like a technology standpoint, it's very up to date, and the crowd they're right on top of you, right? It'll be my first time there tomorrow night.
You'll be in for a treat. They're not going to treat you real well, Jordy, but that's the fun of it, right?
Right,
but,
absolutely.
The students, they come storming in an hour and a half before the game, and they take up the sideline opposite of where the benches are. I mean, the people, they're right on top of it. It's not a bad, there's not a bad seat in the house. It's a very, very nice arena. They did a great job. They built it to the perfect size to create the type of demand that you're talking about.
You got to love this part of the schedule, right? Where, I mean, it's kind of all basketball. Your guys are, I know some of them are in intercession, but for the most part, it's really focused on film and rehab and on the floor getting better and, playing opponents like Auburn on the road. This is what it's all about, right?
Yeah, no, I like the rhythm and the routine that we're in right now. I think it's been good, and so I like that. I like the rhythm. I like that routine, and hopefully we'll get some payback from it. We've had some time, we've made some changes to Eric Gaines' shot that we needed to make. We just didn't have time to. We've had some time to change a couple things and to really spend a couple hours a day individually with some of these guys and get some things that we need to get right, just from a technical standpoint, from a technique standpoint that we haven't. That we just haven't had time for when we're just preparing for game after game after game, and so that's been really good. That's been really important. I think we'll get some dividends from that. Maybe not at Auburn, but certainly as we move through the schedule, I think we'll see some positives from the time we've been able to invest this last week or so.
Mark Cumby asks, Chili asks, have you seen an advantage in recruiting after a 12-0 start? How has recruiting gone in season after such a good start for this team?
I'll tell you one thing, that kids don't. I mean, they pay attention. They're happy we're 12-0. I was texting with Julian Philo last night. They're 17-0. They won last night. He had 20 points, hit 5 of 5 from the 3-point line. But I was texting with him last night. But I mean, most of the kids, it's all about the relationships you have as a staff. And I mean, they can get past your record, whatever it is, good or bad. So I mean, it's certainly a positive just because we're in the national. Our scores roll across the screen. People are talking about us because we're in the top 25. So it's certainly a positive from that standpoint. But I mean, the kids pick schools based on relationships with the coaches, relationships with the coaching staff, and what their fit is. And so, that part of it doesn't change too much. But certainly the recognition and us getting off to a good start doesn't hurt.
We are amped up to follow your crew on the road tomorrow, man. It's been a hell of a non-conference run, and looking forward to the start of the conference tomorrow at Auburn. Boot the bleep up. We will see you there, and safe travels.
Thanks, man. Boot up.
Yes, sir. There he is, Coach Will Wade checking in this morning as the Tigers will hit the road for Auburn, Alabama, as the Carpool Queen makes her entrance here. Good morning.
A little early. I like it.
No school.
No school?
Oh, that's
Brian.
right. No carpool.
No school. That conversation, as always, with Will Wade whenever he stops by. Come on through. It's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar, our friends over at Phil's over in the Southdown Shopping Center. Char-grilled oysters, raw oysters, whatever you're looking for. You can check them out there at
Lloyd knows all about
Yes.
the cocktails at Phil's.
Yeah,
He
Lloyd-
went
Lloyd
through the list the other
Lloyd tried
day.
a few of them.
A little liquid lunch.
Yeah. Backroom action.
Hey, I didn't get all the way through the door.
He got all the
but
he got all the fancy cocktails though.
I did. It's on
Little
the company
plants
card,
in 'em
you
and
know.
everything.
I didn't know if I was getting fired or not. I'm gonna take advantage.
Sorry here. Sorry.
What are you cooking up over
He's
there?
cooking something. Chef's in the kitchen.
Always.
Some tickets.
Uh-huh.
But
Miami?
the secondary market right now is crazy for these LSU basketball tickets. Brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Phil for Will Wade when he stops by here.
Where are we?
Nice.
Sorry.
Let's regroup.
Let's get back to football.
We were trying to sort out the tickets for tomorrow night. As,
Do you have them in hand? Are you
I have
good?
mine in hand.
Are they
Uh-oh.
good? You have good
Are we
ones?
good on Balcony Bengals?
What?
Are the Balcony Bengals
no.
good?
Let's go to break.
No, I'm asking, are your tickets good?
Oh,
for
yes.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean they're right behind. They're not in the student section. I do know that.
Well, that's good. That's a good. I don't
But
know.
they are-
You can do it. You
they're-
can break
maybe
the
it would have been
section.
fun. in
They're
the
lower
section.
level. Well, I mean I got Jay with me.
Yeah.
Gotta grow up someday.
Yeah.
What about the Bengals? I'm meeting up with them this afternoon.
So they hit the
Get 'em
road
on
today.
They hit the road today.
Yeah, that video
no
looked
tickets?
great. That video looked great. No, we're good.
They got
Okay.
tickets.
Okay, good. Make sure everybody's all squared away
we're all
here.
good.
Yeah,
All good.
we're just getting them on the road with some gas. and
Julian
cash.
Phillips, who Wade just
5 of 5.
Reference.
was talking there and referenced there, 5 of 5 from behind the arc
Love
last
that.
night. His team's 17-0. A legitimate one and done player. LSU is handling
Cordy.
Phillips like that. I mean, like they have signed him with the intent that he is going to be in Baton Rouge for about 9 months, 10 months, and
Cam Thomas-esque in terms of how you just know he's gone.
Yeah, you know he's in, you know he's out. I think they thought about that like Nas. I think Nas Reed was kind of like that same similar, like just get him on campus and
I thought
he'll be outta here.
Maybe got him for another year.
me
but
too. They should have.
Yeah.
Really,
It ended
I
up
mean,
working out for him.
It
but
did work out for him, but his draft stock would have gone tremendously through the roof if he didn't
Yep.
come back. But I mean, it has worked out for Nas. I mean, he is going to be a 10-year pro when it's all said and done. So we appreciate Coach Will Wade for stopping by here a day before the game as LSU hits the road today for an Auburn environment, which should be crazy tomorrow night. Make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Full reset.
Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live, powered and driven by Go Chevrolet here on this Tuesday morning. We are moving the UDL this week. If you need, if you can help out, want to help out, check out movetheudl.com. That is movetheudl.com.
Give us a Papa shot
to help.
We want a Papa shot.
Oh,
Papa
we do
shot
want
or
a
pop
Papa shot.
Papa shot, yeah.
Papa
I
shot.
have one.
No, you do not.
I do in my
You're
in the
lying.
garage, but it is not assembled, and I don't know if I
This
can.
whole time
we
we've
can
been talking
assemble?
about this, and you have a Papa shot.
I really don't want to drag all the parts and
Wait,
pieces
is it like
out.
new and unassembled? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Never been used?
Never been
Lloyd,
used.
what the hell?
What?
Is it-
What that? What?
Is
What?
it still in the box?
No, that's the problem. So we put
So?
I put it together once, and then I had to disassemble, and it was a task.
How long have you had it?
5 years.
Get
alright.
your truck over there and
Yeah.
get that
I have
damn
the ping
Papa
pong
Can
table.
I get a please?
please.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Get
show.
in your truck.
I mean, jeez.
Get over there.
I get yelled at too
Get
much
the
already.
Papa
Gonna go
shot.
caroling?
Yeah.
I'm really yelling at Lloyd through you
Uh-huh.
because
That's
I
okay.
can't believe that I've been
I'm going to
asking
pick up a
the
sectional
public.
today in the truck.
Yes.
Gonna throw some trash out in the truck, and then I can get the Papa shot.
And I have a
Wait,
ping
I
pong-
passed y'all
Sport.
yesterday in your caravan of box trash.
You did?
Yes.
At what part?
On Jefferson Highway.
We,
Like I'm probably coming off of Government on Jefferson.
Oh, wow.
I see
We
your
nearly
truck with all
lost
the
one.
and I was like, wait, that has to be Jordy with all the boxes. And I see your car coming around the corner. I'm like, there they are.
We nearly lost one.
Dude, he threw me a little flea flicker. A little cardboard box fell at the back. My car caught it.
No.
Caught the top of it, and then we had to bail, and we pulled off, and we took the scenic
Wow.
route home. But it was so funny. The cardboard falls off, lodges in the top of my car. It's like, oh, we're doing all right, boys.
Wow,
Let's
that's
keep
good
it
time.
moving.
That's good. That's,
It was
that's good. That's
perfect.
good Fast and Furious driving by you.
Yes.
That is
It's all
awesome.
I'm gonna
about
need the
family.
boys. I'm gonna need the boys to sit in the back of the truck and hold on to the sofa, so I don't have to tie that thing down.
That's what we got dupes for.
That's a good video
Yeah.
right there.
It was. But we're nearly clear in that front room.
So excited.
All cleared out.
It
Needs,
got
needs a good mopping.
Yeah.
We
we're all
did it.
good
We,
to
me,
go.
me and Lloyd already mopped.
know where the mops are.
I
know where the mops are at.
Yeah, we're all good to go.
And have a ping pong table. If we want to
Jesus.
use
Well, I
that
knew
too.
that, but
Oh.
you never mentioned a Papa shot this entire time.
I really didn't want
I've been
to.
asking strangers for a Papa shot. You don't want to just because you don't want to assemble it?
I gotta find all the pieces. and
Here we
parts.
go. Here we
Yeah,
go.
it
here we
is,
go.
and it's
So
an
you don't
excuse.
even know
It's
if
excuse
you have
season
it
for
all.
me.
Let's get this process rolling, and I'll come pick it up.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. But I'm not putting it together.
Okay, me either.
I ain't putting anything
Oh
together.
my god! I'll put it together.
Don't look at me.
Noah. That's all.
Noah.
That's Noah's deal.
Noah's dad.
There you
No, it's
go.
bad. We threatened that so many times.
Sergeant of Arms.
Poor Noah's dad.
All he has to do is watch it on YouTube, and he can do it.
The Barstool Bowl got canceled,
No.
which is a bummer. Mintzy was here yesterday. We were talking to Mintz. We watched the game last night with Mintz at LaBerge, and there was kind of some murmurs, some whispers that it was going to happen. It looks like it's official that the Barstool Bowl has been canceled out in Arizona, which is a total bummer, man, because I really wanted to see how Barstool was going to approach this, how they were going to get in to live calling game action, which I think they're probably going to be fantastic at.
It's going to be very entertaining.
And it's probably going to be the new age and gives us kind of a blueprint on how to get into this, because I am very interested in getting into calling games, specifically like high school football, which is a gold mine in my opinion. But they were going to take the all-digital route, just go on YouTube, just go on the digital stuff. But COVID, like it has...
The COVID.
Like it
The
has
COVID.
done to a lot of
Sports.
events and gatherings and things over the last couple of weeks, has canceled the event, bro.
Omicron's
It's
doing it.
unbelievable. It really is
It
kind of
really is.
unbelievable.
It's all right, though. We're making the adjustments. We're making the adjustments now. 5-day quarantine instead of 10-day
Yeah, that's
quarantine.
better.
We're making some moves to make it better. It's about time. Been 18 months, but
I
we're
know.
good.
We're learning how to live.
We're good.
And
We're
Barstool
figuring
was
it
in
out.
they were in like a no-lose situation, like because everybody kind of expects a shit show from them, kind of where we are,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, you're not at 7 o'clock, like it's 7, whatever, we'll be here. But they, no matter what had happened, it was going to be entertaining, and so this was the only thing that could have stopped this from absolutely exploding, is it just getting canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It really felt like that. I mean, this was the worst case scenario for Portnoy and crew.
Because you have to think they sunk a lot of time into
Yes.
Well, they lost money. They can't get that money back, right?
Well, and I think that they were trying to prove a point that they
Yeah.
could do this. So
This
they
was
were
a star
probably
turn.
they were probably making this one of their big investments, right?
Absolutely.
Of the
This
year.
was an
Like,
end goal project.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Like,
end of the year.
Make sure we get this right. And not even a week before they kicked
Was
the
that
thing
an
off.
F-word whisper?
Oh, that's it.
That was Lloyd.
You
Oh,
said
is you?
that.
I thought you said that.
You did that.
Stop.
I didn't say anything right there. Did you get your voice? You make your voice jump
Yeah,
from
I did
spot to
that.
spot?
Project.
Look at
You
that.
throw your voice.
Yeah, I
You,
can.
you got me blamed for that.
Yeah, I got
She's coming at
Right
me
after
hot
you.
today.
I know.
That's twice.
Sorry, Mikey.
That's
I don't
twice.
know
Damn.
why. I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay. Well, we'll work through it. We'll battle through this thing together.
Remember, daily, we're brought to you by A-Bears. A-Bears Specialty Meats here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Highway 73 in Ascension Parish, out there in Geismar, or in Baton Rouge at Robert's Grocery Store on Highland Road. Check out A-Bears Meats, A-Bears Specialty Meats. You can find them right there in Robert's. As we said, they got the holiday specials going on. Gift cards, if you're looking for great gift card ideas or great holiday or birthday present ideas. Get in touch with A-Bears for a gift card today. Online, abearsmeats.com, in Baton Rouge on Highland Road, inside of the Kenilworth Shopping Center, right next to Superior Bar and Grill, inside Robert's Grocery Store, and then out in Highway 73 in Ascension Parish. You can find them right there in Geismar.
We need a
A-Bears Specialty
grill.
Meats.
We need a grill
We need
grill?
at the Noodle. Yeah,
Ah,
we need a
yeah.
grill to grill
Yeah.
the meat
That'd be an
from A-Bears.
easy sponsor there.
That should be a very easy sponsor. Very easy.
A grill.
A grill.
Yeah.
What are you pondering
Or
over
like
there? I
someone
can
who
see your
sells
eyes.
grills.
The squint's coming in. What's going on?
I was wondering if you had any. She mentioned throwing your voice. I wonder if you had anybody like in the dugout that would say something and was able to get away
All the
with
time.
it.
All the time.
Was
you
it
get,
you?
No, not me. But you always get. You have the big the ump shows guys. You know,
Right.
that, like it's about me guy behind the plate.
Gosh.
Can't make the calls.
How bad
You
is
get
that guy?
heckled. Takes off the mask after one word, and you're not even saying anything. That's enough. That's enough.
I know I'm doing shit.
We didn't even say anything, Jerry. What are you talking about? It's enough. And then somebody always says
Jerry.
it. Somebody always says it after.
Jerry.
He says something. He pulls the mask, and the person who said it is gone.
Ugh.
And then you're sitting. You're like, "Hey, bro, I didn't say anything. Don't look at me or throw me out the game because I didn't say shit." And then he makes a bad call on you, and then you get on him. I have a couple ejection videos from this year.
How many times have you been tossed?
I'm good for about one a year.
Worth it?
I got thrown. I got
Gotta be
thrown
worth
out.
it.
Gotta be worth it.
It was. This year was worth it. I got thrown out once this year, and then almost got thrown out a couple other times, but I did not get it.
Would,
At the plate, like you got thrown out at the
The
plate.
one I got tossed out was at the plate this year.
balls and
and then-
strikes?
Oh yeah, should have walked way out, way. Not a good call. And then I was in these not stupid. I don't want to say stupid because these kids created these jerseys, but they're very colorful jerseys. And so then the video is me pointing at the umpire. He's a very short umpire, so I'm like down on him, like pointing at him. And then I walk back.
Dupes.
I walk to the dugout, back turned, tosses me 2 steps from the dugout.
Keep walking.
Like soft toss. Like, come on, dude. Like, if you're gonna throw me out to my face.
Yeah, right. Chunky,
My hitting
bro.
coach goes, he just threw you out. I was like, no, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Threw my bat, went back at him, kind of got my money's worth, and then went in.
What'd you say?
Yeah, what do
What's
y'all
the
say?
magic word?
What do y'all say?
I mean,
what do you say? Like, do you say like you effing suck?
Yeah,
Like
some of
something like that,
and then
like-
that's that's effing bullshit.
Yeah,
Were you
right.
at 8 o'clock
Yeah,
yet?
we're right
We're
there.
good.
We're
We're
not
good.
there
We're
yet.
good.
Fucking
5
bullshit.
minutes.
All this stuff,
No
and
school
I was
today.
like,
That's
Good.
true.
you're, whatever.
They're all listening the whole time.
Right.
And I was like, you haven't, whatever. You just basically like tell him how bad he is.
Yeah.
And then, there's some no-nos, like if you draw a line or you point,
Show them up.
like that's the no-no. Yeah, but this guy.
Does any of them engage back? Like, does any of them be like, no, fuck you?
No, they don't curse back, but they'll like get at you
Uh-huh.
a little bit. One of the guys on our team, his first ejection, he was young. He's 24, 25. His first ejection of the year. Terrible call. Should have walked. Struck him out. The guy, on a check swing. The guy at second base called him. He wasn't even down
my
the line.
God.
Like,
Oh, gosh.
whatever. So he calls him. They had made some bad calls all game. He's yelling at him. He's going back and forth. And he was like, "You suck, and you suck too." And I'm like, "Good job, Gab. You did good there. You did good. I'm proud of you.
It's the
I'm proud of you.
half-baked.
I'm proud
You're
of you.
cool. You
Right,
suck. You
right,
suck.
yeah.
You're
You
cool.
suck and you suck too."
right.
I'm like, "Okay, you did all right." But there's some good ones. Like, there's some good ejections that are like funny and like not like too in your face, but just enough for the umpire to know, like, all right, I kind of messed up. Now some umpires are awesome and they know they messed up and they wear it. If you know you messed up, you just gotta wear it and say, okay, you know what,
My bad, dude.
I messed up.
I know we're both
But
yelling at each other right now.
if not, if you messed up and you don't accept it and you get defensive, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That's when you really want to fight. But
Jim West,
part of it.
Cowboy.
Not Jim West.
What's his name?
No.
Was
not
that?
Jer-
Yeah, Jerry West. Is it Jerry?
No, Jerry West is the.
No, that's-
basketball
Jerry West is a
player.
basketball player.
Joe, is it not Jim?
That's
It's,
not
it's
Jim
Joe.
West.
Is it Joe West?
Joe
Cowboy
West.
Joe
Yeah,
West.
Joe West.
That's
Joe
what it
West.
is.
Whoa.
Joe West. Couple of J's.
Couple of
Yeah,
J's. After
Jerry.
Jerry.
Every time you ask the coach, hitting coach or whoever, like, hey, because you want to know the umpires' names, so you just say hey to them before the game, and every time you ask him, you're like, hey, what's the umpire's name? Dick. What? No, his name's Dick. No, it's not. It's not Dick. Don't
Not
do that
Dick.
to me. Don't do that to me.
I told an umpire to go bang his own mother, and
Ooh.
I said the F word.
In high
Gosh,
school?
Really?
Mhm.
Lloyd, what
I
a
was-
shithead, dude.
No.
What a
I was.
That's harsh.
It was.
Shithead.
I didn't get kicked out though. I got
You
saved
did
by our
not get kicked
got
out.
saved by the first base coach. He came in and he was like, "You need to go away." And
You did not get kicked out, and they heard what you said?
Mhm. I
Wow.
looked right at him and said it with every intent to. I meant it.
Wow.
It was a
Lloyd.
rivalry
High
game.
school
I got
umpires?
thrown out at home, and I was so. It was a blatant miss, and I was like, "Buddy, you're about to." And I just let it rip, and then my first base coach was sprinting because he saw
Oh,
me.
dude, high school umpires are the worst.
Lloyd.
I hit a line drive in high
Your
school
coach
to
should have
left
kicked
field.
your ass.
I
No, it was
know.
warranted. He was a former big leaguer.
I don't
So
know
he's
if
like,
I
I
so he
saw
got
it.
it?
He got
Okay,
it.
he
He-
got
no,
it.
that's why he
Okay.
ran in. And he was like, I'm coming to get you.
That was a firm. That's a
mean,
firm.
I didn't think about it before. I said,
Of
Senior?
course not. You don't ever
Really?
think
Yeah.
about it when you say it.
Senior?
yes. See,
Okay.
Dude,
I
some
had a
wild.
little rope.
We had some wild times. Like, I had umpires were terrible in high school.
Oh, my
Awful.
God.
I'm sorry if you're a high
Well, I
school
mean, like,
umpire,
it's,
but like,
it's college kids.
have some pride.
Do
Have some
your
pride.
job.
Have some pride. I hit a
A
line
lot
drive.
of them don't know what they're looking at.
I'm
No,
telling you.
listen. I hit a line drive to left field. That like one of those like low liners that barely hit the grass but like crushed it.
Yeah.
Base hit. I'm 2 for 3 with a walk. Like we're winning. This is great. Like
Yeah, right.
you know
man.
over. You know.
All right.
I get on.
What are we
first
doing
base,
tonight, boys?
I round the
On
bag.
second.
I get back to first. Umpire called time. Said, "Hey, foul ball." What do you mean it's a foul ball? The ball is in the outfield. He goes, yeah, well, I hit off your foot and ricocheted. I'm like, so
I
it hit off
I
my
just sprinted
foot.
to second base, bro.
It hit off my foot and it ricocheted to left field. And he goes, yeah, I think I messed this one up. So this is kind of like a self, like this one I realized like I'm pretty decent at baseball. The coach for the other team put his face
Oh,
in his
wow.
hands like, oh no, I don't want this kid to hit
Hit
again.
again.
Next pitch, 500 feet home.
No
for homer.
way.
Yeah, crushed it. So I'm rounding around the bases. I hit home plate. The umpire goes, well, I guess you should say thank you to me. I'm like, no, fuck you, bro. Like, I don't, like, you're lucky. If I had gotten out, I've been really mad at you. You know what I mean? But
Dap
they
him
are
up, cross him
terrible,
home.
dude.
That's baseball gods, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's helping you out.
It all worked out. We had a guy almost try to fight someone in St. Martinville. He tried middle game. Our
Umpire?
outfielder. Students were in the outfield talking shit to him. He tried to jump the fence
Oh,
mid-pitch.
wow. Meathead.
I'm in center field. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He was good, actually. He played college football, but I was like, where are you? Like, the pitch is being thrown. Our right fielder is on the fence trying to go over the other side to fight. He's like, meet me outside. 5 students met us outside by the bus after the game, and I'm like, Lance, dude, what are we doing? Sit down. Relax. It's okay.
Did y'all have the boot in the outfield whenever you played? Like they would always have like the high school kids that got real rowdy, and they would bring a boot to the game, throw it over the fence if you made an error, and they would reel it in.
I never got that.
I didn't know if that was before your time. That was like right when I was in high school. Yeah. We had a group. We played Evangel in a tournament, and they weren't even fans of Menard or Evangel. They were just there for the game. Like, it was at a secondary high school, and so they stayed after they watched their high school play, because we went and talked to them, and they had like a rowdy student section. We're like, dude, y'all stay for us, and like cheer for us against Evangel. We're not supposed to win. They stayed the whole game. We upset Evangel. We all run to the outfield and jump into the stands, and
cool. That's pretty cool.
Like little hat tip.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. High school students.
If you can get it right, they're just hammered.
They're wild. They don't care.
Right.
They don't care.
Daily, we're brought to you by GoFlow IV. Remember, GoFlow IV and Spa, located on Jefferson Highway, 7970 Jefferson Highway. If you're looking for a little energy boost here during the holidays or something a little post-Christmas to get back on your feet, check out GoFlow. GoFlow IV and Spa on Jefferson Highway. They're online at GoFlowIV.com. That is GEAUX, FlowIV.com. Baton Rouge's premier medical spa, specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. You can check them out there and get your membership online, 3-month, 6-month annual memberships. But if you're suffering from chronic dehydration, illness recovery, athletic performance, get in touch with GoFlow. GEAUX, FlowIV.com. That is GEAUX, FlowIV.com. Our friend Jeb Whitley says, with a $5 super chat, Jordy, will Brian Kelly ever hire coordinators? What do you think's taking so long? Love the show and the crew. Keep it up. Excited for the new DL.
I actually heard that he's not hiring no coordinators. He's calling the defense and the offense by himself.
And he's going to play quarterback.
Yeah. And he's going to play quarterback.
I think that he's probably actually got something in agreement with Mike Denbrock, who is the offensive coordinator over at Cincinnati. And we have talked about Matt Houston, who is the linebackers coach with Kansas City. Both of those seasons, Cincinnati's would come to an end on Saturday when they play Alabama in the national semifinal, and then of course Matt Houston with the NFL regular season with Kansas City. I think that the emphasis on hiring coordinators was more for the early signing period, right? Like I think that there was a real push to get that done before the early signing period. Now that you've gotten past that, you've got at least the early portion of your class put together.
But how long do you have to get that done?
It'll be done over the next couple of weeks. I mean, I really do expect it to be done like Monday when Cincinnati's knocked out of the playoff by Alabama, and then Kansas City, the NFL regular season will be done in, 2 weeks? So I think...
Well, if the Chiefs continue to play the way that they are, it won't be
but that's usually when that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Is when
but you have,
like job interviews and like job announcements. A lot of people go through the playoffs with other jobs in the NFL because they take those like once. I mean, like they call it Black Monday in the NFL, the Monday after the final Sunday in the season where everybody gets fired. Well, then people start to be interviewed and you start to fill those jobs. And from LSU standpoint, that's when you would announce that you've hired Matt Houston and that he'll take over in Baton Rouge as soon as Kansas City's season is over. If it goes to the Super Bowl, that sucks. It'll be an extra month.
Is it Matt House or Matt Houston?
Do I keep saying Houston?
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's
Matt
House.
Houston,
It's
we
House.
have a problem.
I don't know why I keep saying Houston. It is House.
The Chiefs are probably going to get a bye week too, right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, they won the AFC.
So they'll have
they won their division.
To kind of like do whatever they have to do.
If it's not those two people, you'd be shocked, right? If
Yes.
those aren't the two hires.
Yes, for sure. So I do, to answer your question, I think that they actually have somebody in place and have made a hire. They just have an announcement. It just is not. It's not been made public yet. So.
Do you think Denbrock is peeking around at the LSU offense and who
Sure.
he's got while he's? I mean, Cincinnati, Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Cincinnati, there's only so much preparation that you can do. I mean, how many times can you look at Alabama and say, we don't match up? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what we're going to do.
It really doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's going to take us a miracle here, fellas,
every time.
to try and win this game. But, I mean, I don't know how much he can really look at Cincinnati and Alabama over the last couple of weeks. And if he's got a deal in place with LSU, which is, highly speculative and many people believe to be, have in place, I think that he's probably actually had to look at, like Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, Jack Besh, Kayshawn.
A little peek before you go to bed.
Yeah,
Probably
right.
wish
Wow.
they had him playing for
We could use
Cincinnati.
them this weekend.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have them on my team right now.
I have to sleep on my back.
So, I think that, it will. I think that he's got his guys. I really do. There's no way. There's no way that, he lets this amount of time go by without making those monumental of hires. But one thing is evident with Brian Kelly and LSU football is that he runs it. This is his program. He's in charge of it. Anybody who's saying that, there's parts and people that are still around from it's not, man. This is Kelly's regime. You hadn't even really heard from him since his opening press conference. He didn't even have a wrap-up press conference to tell you about the recruits. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it is more than
in the
anything
dungeon,
that
bro.
jumps out to me is that it's different. It's a
That's
change.
so different.
And about him. That's the thing.
Yeah, right.
It's not about me anymore. He's in the freaking dungeon just grinding out right now behind the scenes is what you want. That's what you want your head coach to do. It's not about him. It's about it's about the kids, about the players, it's about the coordinators, it's about everybody else but the head coach. Even though everything falls on him, it's not a me thing.
Yeah.
It's polar opposite of every LSU head coach to the point, though, right? Like, that's why I guess people are even asking the question, because you're used to LSU's head coach being kind of polarizing, and he has taken a step away and not been in the spotlight at all.
Well,
and LSU is used to a Les Miles at Orgeron, where you're on Eli's place taking your shirt off.
Yeah, no, it's very
I don't
much
think
different.
Brian Kelly will do that.
Much different.
No, Eli travels now.
Eli has places?
Yeah, he passed that one down the buck, dude. He's like, I'm not doing that anymore. Dude,
What?
you do it. Peyton's places is now Eli's whatever
Right.
places.
Is that what it's called? Eli's Places?
I
It
think
was
so.
Peyton's places. I don't know. Is it Eli's places?
I think so.
Does it flow as well?
I know,
Oh.
but that's what I'm saying. They didn't even think about, like, Eli, you do this.
Yeah.
And then Eli was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and take over your little stream, and I'll be more popular on Monday Night Football.
They weren't on last night.
No,
Right?
I missed
No.
them last night.
God, they would have had.
Yeah,
That
and
would
a
have
field
been,
day.
that would have been perfect for them.
Are they done
Yeah.
for the year on Monday Night Football?
I don't know that.
Eli
No,
and
I
Peyton?
never know.
I think,
Take
but they only
breaks.
had 12. They didn't have the full season, obviously.
Oh, look who it is.
The Destroyer.
Look who it is.
Oh wow, bro!
Did you
Hit
hit the
that
poker
AC.
table?
For
Okay.
God's
It's
sake.
here,
It's
bro.
a little warm
It's a locker
in here.
room in here.
Yeah.
When I
Mincy,
walked in,
good
it
to
was
see you,
like
What's
bro.
up, bro?
Good to see
Look,
you. Good
I'm
to
gonna
see you.
move.
Good
I'll
to
move
see
so
you.
you can get in here.
Yeah, let's shuffle some people around.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what? Let us reset, open a couple of doors, crack a couple of windows,
Claustrophobia setting in.
and I don't know if I can do this. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show,
How are
powered
we
and driven
going
by Go Chevrolet. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live here on this Tuesday as we are wrapping it up here from UDL. We do have a full house. Jordan Peck showed up in the break. Ben Mintz from Barstool Sports is here. Luke Dubes is here, the show intern. It's good to see Mintzy back down in South Louisiana. Good to see you last night at LeBear's, buddy.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you for having me. And, look, I always love coming to Baton Rouge. My time here was short but sweet for certain. I love the support I get from down here. And, look, just excited about finally getting this damn app up.
Yeah, man.
In the next couple of months in early 2022.
You know how Louisiana is.
I need to get my money back.
You just would have lost me more money last night.
Yeah, I need to get my money back. I need to chase it from last night.
It was good to be at the sports book on LeBear's campus last night. That thing is growing.
Yeah, it is. And they're turning the stadium sports bar. It's going to be the new Barstool Sports book, shooting for May on that. I can't wait for that. And just the app's going to be the next couple of months. And, look, we're growing. Barstool's growing a ton down here in South Louisiana. We get a lot of support from Baton Rouge and New Orleans in this area. And just excited. Hopefully, the big thing next year, man, I want to get some lines in these college baseball games.
Yeah, let's do it.
I know LSU baseball fans want to be able to bet on LSU baseball, especially the SEC series. I'm beating the drum for that.
Well, I mean, look, if anybody could make this happen, you would be the guy. I mean, you were the one that really kind of brought the spotlight and interest to a sleeping monster of SEC baseball. And I think that kind of opened up college baseball's love. But, I mean, really down here in this region, if you were just a corner SEC baseball, I mean, there is a market for a lot of money to be made, especially around weekend gambling around these 3-game series, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, just look at it, just being smart in general. I mean, how many people go to the box and pack it for a 3-game SEC big series where they get like 25, 30,000 people in there?
Yeah.
I mean, if 25 or 30,000 people are in one place, then people are going to want to bet on it. I mean, it's pretty common sense. And, you know, you look at how college baseball is, the passion that LSU baseball fans have, and, you know, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and now you're seeing it grow at Tennessee, and a lot of these SEC schools are continuing to invest in it. Well, everybody watches their favorite team play religiously, but they don't necessarily watch all the other games because they don't have skin in the game. So you open it up where people can start betting on these other games, and now that you can watch all the college baseball games on the app, I mean, whole new revenue stream, whole new big thing. So really wanting to build on it, wanting to build on the college baseball coverage in your
Huge bummer for not only Barstool, but for college football, because I think that the college football world wanted to see how Barstool Sports was going to live broadcast a college football game. You guys had the ownership of the Phoenix Bowl, of the Arizona Bowl, and it looked like everything was kind of trending towards a different broadcast. Over the last 24 hours, we've learned that game has been canceled. Your CEO, Dave Portnoy, went on social media and made it official that game is not going to happen. I know that's a huge bummer for you and your company.
I am real bummed for our guys because I know a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And, you know, look, a bowl game, the amount of work that went into this the last 6 months for, you know, you think about even all our top guys like Dave and Dan, everybody calling it, but, man, our graphics team behind the scenes, I just can't even imagine the hundreds of hours of work that go down in flames here. And this isn't just a Barstool Bowl problem. Look how many other bowl games are getting canceled. And it's a damn shame. And, I mean, who didn't want to see Big Cat jump out of a plane and sing the national anthem? And, you know, I was so excited to see Barstool jump into broadcasting sports because I don't know if y'all have all seen Rough and Rowdy, but how much fun, you know, they make an amateur boxing event. So who knows what they can do for college football or live sports. And so I think it's a damn shame. I'm super upset about it. And I know everybody in our company is, and I know Dave Portnoy is.
I think you should convince Big Cat to still jump out of a plane and still sing the national anthem just to do it in memory of the Arizona Bowl.
Oh, dude, there's nobody more thrilled that this isn't happening than Big Cat because I don't think he was going to make weight, dude. I don't think he was going to make it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. I thought he was like joking when he said he was going to jump out of a plane, and then I saw him the other day in the office. He was like getting fitted for a suit. I walked up to him. I was like, I thought this was a joke. He's like, no, I'm doing this. I was like, man, you're
Mintz, you got
the company man.
Mintz, you got the cowbell, the Mississippi State cowbell right next to you. I don't know if that's
the Brandon Walker.
I just
special.
saw it on the
Well, I mean, I don't know if y'all saw. You know, I did make my debut ringing a cowbell.
I know.
This year, and,
I know you did.
You know, I got to. That's the first time and the last time that'll ever happen. But getting to ring a cowbell in Brandon Walker's face after.
How annoying are those things? So annoying.
Whatever the over
sorry,
is.
Katie.
Whatever the over is.
I'm sorry, Katie.
Well, my thing is it's like unfair the advantage you get because if you're too lazy to go to a sporting event and yell, then you shouldn't have that much of a home field advantage. And I mean, like, you know, instead of people shaking pom poms, they just shake these really annoying clanging bells. I don't know how they get away with it.
Me either. Aren't you not supposed to bring that? The cowbell is number one for me, and second is the Woo Pig Sooie chant. Can't stand it. Those are the two most aggravating chants for me.
What's the relationship like with you and Walker?
The whistle.
Okay, so, I mean, he's a pretty irritable guy, to say the least.
Sure.
You know, I know, you know, maybe a little more dialed up on the air, but, you know, I would say we get along and coexist, but it's, you know, he gets real salty anytime the State Ole Miss stuff comes up. I mean, that's no joke. The man, he isn't playing the bitter Mississippi State fan. He lives it every day of his life. But we get along, you know, I think we get along fine other than that. I step in and host Pick Central when he's gone, and, you know, I mean, I like working with him. I'll say that.
Mitzi, tell me this. How have you seen
what a compliment.
A little backhand there. That's the least I can say.
He's fine.
Tell me how you've seen media evolve, because it is crazy when you come back down to Louisiana. There's always kind of like these nostalgic type stops for you in FM radio and AM radio and sports talk radio, whether it's Monroe, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. Now you're up at Barstool, which is kind of on the cutting edge of new age media, which you guys were, I think, going to display at the bowl game. How have you seen media evolve to kind of like where we are, where we're going? We're moving into a new studio for digital platforms only. How have you seen this medium kind of grow and start to really kind of take over what we're doing in the industry?
Well, it's changed so much in the last few years, and I got to give y'all a compliment. I've said this to all y'all just off the air, but the way y'all are growing, it's just it's a digital world now completely, and you got to constantly be consistently pushing content just all the time. It's always on to the next thing. You can never do enough, which is kind of tough because it's like no matter what, when you leave work, you always could have done more no matter how much you've done. But just if you're constantly pushing stuff at the radio world, I mean, I know it's still in pocket. Sports radio still does well, but it's all digital now. And, you know, it's all Twitter. And, you know, obviously y'all are all over YouTube, which has become such a big thing. But if you're not being open-minded and creative and willing to adapt, you're getting left behind like a dinosaur in this
Adapt
current.
or die, baby.
Yeah,
Adapt or die.
What's your phone usage? Have you ever checked it to see like
I don't
how
even
often
wanna know.
Yeah, me either.
I don't even want to know. I know when my phone dies and stuff, I feel like it's like this must be what a cigarette addiction's like. Because like if my phone dies, I feel like I'm like naked.
Or if you lose it.
Yeah.
Like if you leave a room without it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like if you
Panic.
have
Panic.
thought that you have left it somewhere, like if you are at a restaurant and you get into your car and the thought of like leaving it at the table where somebody could have picked it up is almost like this insane type of panic where I'm like disappointed in myself.
What would you rather lose? That would be the one I don't want to lose the most. Like I'd rather lose my keys or my wallet before I lost my phone.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, they're replaceable, right?
Sure.
I mean, like they feel the wallet and keys feel like they're replaceable compared to your phone now. I mean, like it's so real time, immediate satisfaction that you can't even get past.
It's an addiction.
It's 100. I mean,
It's bad.
it is.
No,
It may be the worst addiction that we have.
that we're allowed to have.
Right? I mean, like,
it's horrible for me. Like I try to like mentally try hard to like unplug in spots, and like it's just my mind is always racing because I'm always on my dang phone.
like I think how much my kids' generation is gonna have like arthritis, like in like stuff in their hands from their hands being so in like just
tunnel.
Yeah, you sit like this the entire day.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like you sit where your hands are so. It's almost like
clenched.
It's almost like you sit like this permanently. I mean, it's crazy the addiction to the phone that not only content creators experience, but really now generations.
We also lose a little bit of the the social feel.
Not a little bit, bro.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
You can check out.
A lot of it.
Yeah, and then you should get the key. But the other thing is this
Von
fascinating.
Bluesman says it sounds like being married.
It's funny to me, the keyboard warriors too, though. Like when you judge Twitter versus real life, because people are just so mean on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's unreal, but it's like in real life, people aren't really like that. And I noticed it a lot. I battle with the Mississippi State fans some, and I mean, I don't. My relationship with the Mississippi State fans is nothing like the Walker versus Ole Miss fans. Like the hatred on that side is a whole nother level. But like I go at the State fans a ton on Twitter, they go at me, whatever. And then I met them in real life in Omaha, and it was like
Biggest
they
fans.
were all like they love me. Yeah, it's just,
Right.
They love you to start, though.
yeah, it's just fun. It's just funny. The dynamic about judging Twitter versus real life. The other thing in digital media I want to mention though too is the focus now on short videos. We're kind of in this thing now where people love like the attention spans of people. It's so hard to make people sit down. Like, you look at the old school 3-hour sports radio show kind of thing, and that model is kind of dying because nobody can sit there and go through commercials for 3 hours. But man, you put a 1 or 2 minute video on your phone, you hit it hard, people will watch that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the product of the phone addiction thing y'all are talking about. Because I don't know about y'all, but I have trouble sitting down to commit to like, hey, I want to watch this 2-hour movie.
No doubt about
I
it.
can't mentally.
God.
I'm just
You're
like,
on your phone as you're watching the movie.
That's why I can't play golf. I'm looking. I'm like, are we still here?
Oh no!
Yeah,
Dude,
like, this is-
you would love golf.
I
you
don't
need
think
to get
I
into
can't
it.
do. I
You would.
can't embrace it.
Dude.
I can't.
Take a little dog walker.
9
Absolutely.
9 holes.
it's just
Yeah, but you want to get away.
It's just such a mental thing for that 3. You just commit to anything for 3 or 4
I
hours.
know.
So the short
I know.
videos have really become a good thing, which is good for me because I just get on there and turn it up like crazy and look like a maniac. And,
Yeah.
it works.
And go viral.
What do the halls look like at Barstool? Is it nothing but content creation all day?
So we're the second. We have two floors. We are near Madison Square Garden in Chelsea. We're like 3 blocks away, which is nice because I'm starting to go to like midweek sporting events out of work. Over there, saw the New York Rangers for my first NHL game a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
how'd you like it? NHL games are
Awesome.
wild, huh? Yeah,
Awesome.
they're awesome.
Following the puck on TV versus being there and following it,
Yeah.
whole different animal.
Completely different.
You're there, you're just so much more engaged in the game, and when you're watching on TV, it's just there's no sport that's more different live versus.
You don't even have to know what's going on. You just gotta watch them. Like I don't know. I know the general rules of hockey, but I don't know
see.
like the details of it.
Yeah.
But watching it, you're like, damn, this is awesome. Guys
Oh.
are getting crushed into the boards and shit. Great.
What's crazy athleticism.
and the
Yeah.
passion of the fan bases
Yeah,
too
yeah.
is people are fired up about it, and so I'm going to definitely make sure I hit a few more. As far as Barstool goes, though, it's 2 floors. You've got the content area that's like open air because they want to encourage everybody creating together, everybody collaborating, because that's what Barstool is. You never know. Literally, I walk into that office every day. I know I'm going to be on Pick Central for an hour. I know I'm going to do a couple other things. I don't know what else is going to come up. And that's the beauty of it. It's all about the cross collaboration. We've got a whole different area on that same second floor that's all the production where like Playboy Marty and everybody's at. And then the 3rd floor is the sales team. So it's kind of, and we're up to 325 total employees. I think I was like number 220 when I got hired in
Damn,
October of October 2020.
So over the
it's been
last
just over
year,
here, yeah.
over the last year, you've seen Barstool's
100.
probably experienced their biggest growth.
Yeah, I think so, and it's just expanding more and more. Just the thing is, it's fascinating is how can one brand reach into all aspects of life? It's like mind blowing when you look at whether it could be outdoors or music or
Yeah.
sports or food or I mean literally anything and gambling. it's like a brand name can just touch into all aspects. It kind of almost blows my mind just thinking about it, to be honest.
Yeah. It is wild to kind of think about where the product is and where it's going over the next, not years, like
Months.
weeks and months.
I always
how
wonder,
fast it grows.
Dave, I wonder how Dave just does day-to-day life, because, like, the buck stops with him in that office. That ain't no joke. I mean, you got to go through him. You would almost think he would delegate more than he does because of how big it is. But, I mean, it runs through him. I mean, I have to go to him for stuff. He's very approachable in the office. I mean, if you catch him at a busy time, he'll obviously say, come back later. But, you know, he's very fair to work with. I enjoy Dave as a boss. Look, in this day and age, there's so much, you know, smile at your face, talk behind your back, and fake behavior just all over society. There's a lot to be said for brutal truth.
I agree.
And Dave Portnoy,
I agree.
He's just going to stone cold tell you whether he thinks a good idea is a good idea, a bad idea is a bad idea, whether you're holding your weight. And look, there's a lot to be said for that, especially being a boss.
I respond so much better in those types of atmospheres. I mean, I've always told bosses or people that I've worked with, I respond better to the fuck yous rather than the thank yous.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, tell me F you more than you tell me thank you, and you will get the best out of me.
Yeah.
Because if you tell me thank you, my personality kind of has a tendency to kind of be like, oh, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, they're happy with what I'm doing. You know what? I might just keep it at this level. But if you walked in, closed the door, and said, get your fucking shit together, man. You're slipping and you're not doing your job. And if you don't start, I'm going to run your ass out of here. I will be there and will not leave until it is perfect. You know what I mean?
That's how baseball GMs were. Tell Dave to go be a baseball. Baseball world.
I mean, there's probably a lot of fakeness in that.
A lot of it. You don't know. They sugarcoat. They want to make you feel good. Like, hey, dude, just tell me straight up what the real reason is.
Because I know especially if you're a player, like, dude, I know I'm fucking stink right now. Like, there's nothing good you can tell me. Right. So don't pretend.
Right.
Well, I think there's also a thing in the generation that's below us where people can't take constructive criticism well anymore. No. I think that's a real problem. And, like, if you're not willing to get called out and look in the mirror and get better, like a lot of this, like, young to mid-20s generation, if you look at them wrong, they're just like, oh, the hell with you, I quit. I mean, it's like a just soft generation. And if you're not willing to get better and take constructive criticism, you're never going to get better at anything. And so I think that's a big part of what we do, and I respect that.
So what's the schedule look like for the rest of the trip?
I'm on the I'm jokingly, I'm starting the hashtag Mintzy tour. Because I'm always just all over all the time. That's kind of how I just am. And I've got the perfect job for that. New Orleans, New Year's, Sugar Bowl is going to be the big thing. And, man, I can't be more pumped about that. I always mess with all the LSU fans down here. When you're an Ole Miss fan, and she knows this is a State fan, you got to enjoy the good times at football. And this has been a spectacular year, what Lane's done. And getting to do New Year's in the Sugar Bowl, can't ask for much more. I'm actually planning on going to the Texas Bowl still. If LSU can if LSU can make it to it, because if there's any COVID with how small LSU's roster is right now, I know
it's over. Yeah, it's over.
But so from here, next thing is going to be the Sugar Bowl, doing New Year's. I'm trying to go to that Saints Panthers at 3:25 on Sunday. Still, even after last night, I still like to support the Saints, obviously whenever I can. But can't wait to throw down for the Sugar Bowl and see Matt Corral hopefully end his career in style. He deserves to go out a winner with everything he's done for that school.
Yeah, without a question. And Mintzy, I don't know if can we say anything about the hype video? No?
No, I mean,
did.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
That's a tease. That's just a little tease. A little tease.
There's some. That's
something's brewing.
Something's
brewing in Oxford.
Yeah, something is definitely brewing.
So wait, how do you feel that you still have Lane Kiffin?
Amazing. No, I know Jeff Lebby is coaching his final game. He's going to Oklahoma as offensive coordinator, but not surprised by that. He went to Oklahoma undergrad. And anytime you're the OC under Lane Kiffin, you're not going to get as much credit. Now that he's going to Oklahoma under Brent Venables, he's going to be like the co-head coach because Venables is going to run the defense. I'm thrilled to still have Kiffin. You know, to be honest, the Miami job was the one that really worried me because he used to, lived in Boca for Florida Atlantic. And I mean, you can't blame him if he wants to go down there and live in Miami. And Lane bringing the U swagger back would have been, I mean, even being an Ole Miss fan, I'll admit how fun of a story that would have been. But Mario Cristobal getting that, just ecstatic to have him. It's going to be every year, though. I mean,
for Lane's career, I think it's better that he stays in Oxford. He kind of can stay a little more focused on football and not the other stuff that Lane likes to dabble in.
Come with it.
I really do think that he's past it.
I mean, you don't know until you can put that back in that situation.
I think that he is more about He's more about trying to build his football legacy now. I mean, I think that he is.
Do you think
he's probably tired of being a joke. I mean, he really is a butt of a lot of jokes outside of his fan base, and none of what he's accomplished within football has been anything about winning. Like when people talk about his football prowess, they talk about his play calling, and to somebody in that trade as prideful and egotistical and as arrogant as Lane Kiffin is, at some point that's got to catch up with you.
Well,
I'd imagine through his 20s and 30s, he was worried about all the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like he still was out there chasing for lack of a better term, but now it's really just more about football.
He's probably doing a little bit smarter of it too.
I'm sure.
I'm sure he's understood. Okay, this is how it happens. This is how it works.
I mean, you win 10 games.
It's like recruiting.
Well, you win 10 games in Oxford, Mississippi. It becomes about your coaching because
no doubt.
Let's
It's
be
hard to
honest.
do.
That ain't. Well, I mean, it's like never been done before. So,
Right.
Ole Miss was like really good back when the schedules were 10 games in like the 60s, and I mean, it's first 10 win regular season ever.
It was one of those stats that I saw for the first time. I had to read it 10 times. I said, "There's no way this is."
Yeah, they're 9-3 in 15, and then Eli was 9-3 in 03. But yeah, shows how tough the SEC West is. That's why, like I said, you got to enjoy the good times. And I love everything he's done, and not just winning, but the brand. Like Ole Miss, I'm telling you, Ole Miss was deader than fried chicken at the end of the Matt Luke era. I mean, you're talking about. You would have thought it was COVID in the stands during 2017 to 19 with the NCAA sanctions and stuff. I mean, the fan apathy around the program, and then it all got brought back at Starkville when Elijah Moore decided to scope his territory in that Starkville end zone, and somehow this magical sequence of events got Lane there, and then in his second year wins 10 games. Well, the NCAA probation, and Lane's used the transfer portal incredibly.
Yes.
And I know that's the new world, but like, you look at how bad Ole Miss's defense was 127th in the country in 2020, and you bring in Chance Campbell from Maryland and Jake Springer from Navy and all these guys that came in to make an immediate impact. That defense, the amount of improvement the second half of the season, but that defense was just mind-blowing.
It was.
And it's just cool to see, keeping much of the coaching staff together. I'm real curious to see what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. Kind of think might be that incarnate word, Cameron Ward, the dual threat, which I wouldn't hate. But I kind of feel like something's got to happen on that front because they hadn't got the transfer.
Who's the guy in the quarterback room right now?
Right now it's Luke Altmaier. He was a 4-star recruit last year, but he came early and didn't look good in spring. And while he was from Starkville, but Mississippi State took a West Texas quarterback from Lubbock instead of him. I'm curious. I don't know. He's unproven. He's a good recruit, but he's very, very unproven.
Is Plumlee a receiver now?
Plumlee. He just can't. Like, Lane's all about using every angle and every inch of the field, stretching in the passing game, and Plumlee's just too limited to do that.
Stick to baseball.
Plumlee's kind of, he's kind of takes some hill in a way.
Corral, you think he'll make it NFL?
I do. I think a lot of it depends on quarterbacks in the NFL, and this may work out. You don't want to be – it's so hard, and Joey B's doing it, but when you're, like, going to the really crappy teams, you get put in a tough situation. And if you go mid to late first round, you end up in a lot better because you end up in a lot better organization. And I think that, right now he's projected as mid to late first round. I think as long as he goes to a solid organization, I think he will. He can really move. He's tough as nails, and he's a leader. I mean, y'all hear him talking about the bowl game thing with everybody opting out. Yeah. He's like, there's no chance in hell I'd let my teammates down and miss this bowl game. In this day and age, you don't see that kind of leadership anymore. I think he can. I think he's got the arm. The thing about him that impressed me this year was the way he cut down on the turnovers, because he led college football in total offense in 2020, but y'all saw the LSU game. He had multiple games where he went off throwing picks. He only threw 4 this year. Yeah. So I think he can do very well in the league.
How happy would you be for him going to New Orleans?
I can't even talk about it because I've thought about that, man. And I can't even talk about it, but then I'm still so upset they passed on Elijah Moore last year in the first round.
So were they.
Oh, yeah. And I just remember draft night I was with y'all at the Bears. Yeah. And I just was like on an instant react video, and I just couldn't even.
I mean, I've got to check and see on Monday mornings if Peyton Turner is still on the team.
Oh, he's hurt. He's out for the year.
I mean, but I mean, like for a while when he was playing, I mean, you never saw him.
Nah.
You know what I mean? It was another Loomis Peyton first round reach that just doesn't work. It just doesn't.
Davenport's working though. They went and
got
him. Yeah, but he's been healthy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just about getting him healthy and keep him on the field.
Yeah, I don't know. I just was bummed as a homer that I am, but we'll see.
sure.
Corral, I'm curious to see. I think he's got a good chance to do well.
Jedi 517 with the $2 super chat says Mincy with the sneaker heat. Love the Gulfs.
Yeah, the Gulf. So I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to sneakers at all. But Stooley hit me up and said, "Hey man, I got this extra pair of shoes. I'm gonna just send these to you." And I said, "Okay."
Thank you.
I said, "Okay, thank you." I think I got some more coming too. So because I usually just wear like Brooks running shoes, running around. But love them too. Kind of like the Tar. I guess it's Tar Heel blue.
Is that the craziest part of your life that has changed? Just shit happening on your front doorstep, just things showing up into your DMs or onto the office, whether it be human beings or tennis shoes?
That part is crazy. The part that's crazier is going out in public in certain spots, which is just wild. But like when I go to Oxford, or I've like the last couple times I've been in New Orleans, like Halloween and Hogs for the Cause. I mean, it's hard to believe. I mean, it's everywhere. And I think I'm lucky that my voice is a little different, so I get recognized anytime I'm in public. But man, it just blows me away the reach of Barstool. It's so big, and I get recognized now every day in Hoboken when I'm walking to the train.
Really?
I mean, dude, it's everywhere. The Rangers hockey game, it was like 30 people.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's out of hand how big.
So
it's
Barstool in the Northeast is enormous,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
Like,
just massive.
Like y'all are drowning ESPN. I'd
Yeah.
imagine.
Oh, it's just monster up there, and then. But it's growing so much in Louisiana. And
No, I know.
Mississippi.
You can feel it in like the SEC territory, but
It originated up
that's
in the
why
Northeast, yeah.
it's the monster it is, right?
Oh, out
Because
of
of
Massachusetts,
the East Coast.
Yeah, no, it is, and we're so big. Philly, New York, Boston, Chicago.
I mean, huge sports towns.
It's just wild, the reach of it. Like, it's funny too because we're all like human beings. We all have ups and downs and bad days and good days. That's just part of it. And so many times I've kind of caught myself in like a whimsical mood or kind of like whatever, and somebody will just come up and approach me and say what's up, and I'm just like, awesome.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is unreal.
Perspective.
Yeah, it's hopefully only, like you said, we're growing and growing, and I feel like, I'm at the end of year one. I feel very good about it. I re-signed through next year, got a little raise. Going to be kicking it. I'm doing, definitely through next December, going to be in the Northeast, but I feel really really good about it. A lot of it's the support I get from Louisiana.
And that's what makes sense here, right? Like,
yeah.
Because when you look at the model of what Barstool and how it was built, it was all basically around the Patriots in the Northeast. And Baton Rouge is one of those cities that kind of has that same feel of you have a collection of people that are diehards about one or two things, and that's LSU football and the New Orleans Saints. And it's a bit of that Patriots feel, Celtics feel, and that's why the company kind of started. So that's why it just makes sense to me in this world and where media has gone that Baton Rouge could have a presence there.
And Barstool's got a really unique relationship with LSU too, because the Pardon My Take, we did so much in the 19 year when Joe Burrow came on after they won it, and they came for the national title.
I think he was still a little
And
drunk.
it's like funny, we don't have like anybody that went to LSU, but then like Molinaro's got such a great relationship with y'all. Megan making money does. I obviously have a good relationship with Baton Rouge, even though I went to Ole Miss, which I still feel is one of my greatest accomplishments.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, I feel like that was not easy to pull off.
That is a hell of a coup.
But, yeah, I mean, LSU's a big thing.
So,
and Big Cat loves LSU.
Yeah, for sure. So without jumping into logistics and contract details, what is your requirements in your 1 year agreement with them? What do they require you to do at Barstool?
Well, see, here's the thing. My first day, I came in there and I had a 5-minute orientation with our human resource person. And they sit you down at a desk, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to tell me who to report to, what to do, blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, all right, go do it. I'm like, what? Like, it's my first day. I'm 5 minutes in. Like, they're like, they're like, oh, you just figure it out. You're good. So they basically give you...
Here's wings, fly.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, here's the platform. Let's see what you got.
Right.
And I love that, though, because, I mean, so much of, I think, some of the mistakes in media is the middle management, constricting talent. And, just in general, that's a thing all over. And I've seen that happen to me up in North Louisiana for sure. And Barstool just like, go do it. And my first day I was on Pick Central and it went well, and Walker just immediately pulled me aside after the show. He's like, hey, you're immediately part of this now. And so what I try to do, I'm constantly evaluating everything. And I always think, everything I do, I want to be like, are people interested in this?
Sure.
That's the biggest thing. It's all about being on the pulse of what people care about, whether it's, college baseball or gambling or, I'm doing Hogs for the Cause again in New Orleans. World Series of Poker, whatever. I don't want to waste my time doing anything that I don't think people care about. I think that's the number one thing. But they literally are just like, here's the platform, go do the dang thing. And they're pretty good. You can't get anything. I can't just go in there today and be like, approve this. But, they're pretty, if you've got a good
open-minded.
Yeah, if you got a good idea and you can sell in the big thing, if you think it can bring in money, they'll do it.
Well, One Team, One Podcast, I can tell you firsthand that Mintz is the king of Oxford. They had us surrounded while we were on campus. Tommy Howard, love to see good things happening to good people. City Boy Outdoors says, is it annoying being recognized? And answer honestly, don't give me the coach speak.
It will be in 3 or 4 years, but I'm still in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Like, it's still just like, look, anybody that knows me and knows my journey, you go from, I just laughing with Jordy about it last night. I mean, I was top 200 poker player in the world and fell off so hard that I went back to Ole Miss when I was 30, 31, like working in a kitchen, making salads and pizza and sweeping floors on that couch. You go from that big of a fall, from 75th to World Series Maine for $90K to working for $8 an hour back in college.
At 30.
At 30.
At 30, sweeping the floors for 22-year-olds.
Yeah, so I'm saying, you go from a fall like that, damn sure still enjoying this. Every minute. But I think it's provided me a great perspective that's worked with Barstool, and that, like, I've already done well in life and fallen and had to come back up, and that builds so much character.
Absolutely.
And so when I lose 8 gambling picks in a row and they're bagging on me and acting like the world's end, and I'm just okay,
here's 8 more picks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm okay, this is nothing, and I think
take the under, you idiots.
Yeah. I think that provided me a lot of perspective, and just being a little older and being around. The getting recognized hadn't gotten, like I said, maybe in a few years we'll get old, but I still am really enjoying it. It's a little bit of a bubble in New York. You go to work and go back, etc. When I come down here, I love coming back south as a member of Barstool. It's anywhere in Louisiana, Mississippi. It's special.
Is there a difference in North Louisiana, South Louisiana? You almost have to feel like a North Louisiana son, right? Like when you go back up there, almost like this sense of accomplishment, to when you get down to South Louisiana, it's more of a celebration. I mean, I'm looking to wingman you more than I am to celebrate with you.
Yeah, it's wild. I got really lucky in that I got brought in as the Ole Miss guy, but then being from Louisiana. Like, I'm a mutt.
Yeah.
I grew up in Monroe, but I went to Ole Miss. My mom, we have a farm in the Mississippi Delta, so I'm like half Mississippi, half Louisiana is kind of my bloodline. Right. And it couldn't have worked out better that I got brought in as the other Ole Miss guy, but the support I get from Louisiana. Because I've lived in Monroe, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. I've done everything but Southwest Louisiana. So it's, I think, I don't know. It kind of almost feels like I'm a home, almost Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Oxford, and North Louisiana. Almost all feel like home in a way, if that makes sense.
All right, Mintzy, we'll get you out of here, get you on the road. Tell me what to think about Saturday night with Baylor and Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. How do you feel about this one? Aranda versus Kiffin. This is offensive genius versus defensive scientist.
Yeah, hey, look, Ole Miss's offense, the thing is the involvement of Ole Miss winning with defense happened so much late in the year. I mean, the Egg Bowl was like that, the LSU game, the A&M game, and I don't know that this is going to be this wild, crazy shootout. I do think Ole Miss will score some points. I feel like Baylor's offense, they're going to try to run the ball a lot, but I think Ole Miss's defense should be fine to keep a minute. I mean, I feel good about Ole Miss winning. I think Corral and Kiffin are going to go out, finish this thing. Baylor, as great of a year as they had, 11-2 Big 12 champs, they still played in a weaker conference, and I think that's a factor. I think Ole Miss is going to win 31-20, something like that.
It is great to see you, brother. Congratulations on everything. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll be speaking again soon, and hopefully everything's open and moving and operating in New Orleans.
Yeah, and hopefully everything's I'm wondering what I'm walking back to in New York at the beginning of the year, too, right now. Because everything's getting – I know a lot of offices have shut down already. It's just – crazy world we're living in right now. That's for sure.
Hopefully you can get back there. Hopefully they don't cancel flights.
Yeah, I know. I saw there were 2,000 canceled yesterday. So, but
trying to get our boy back.
Trying to get our boy back.
I hope I can get to Houston because I hope the Texas Bowl happens. I'd like to make that too.
Man, I hope that happens too, man.
But New Year's New Orleans, big throwdown.
LSU wants that to happen. They want that game.
They want to play it.
LSU wants to play.
LSU's got such a huge base in Houston. Yeah. That's such a big part of LSU's alumni base. I'm sure, of course, they want to play there.
John Sherry Kirkland at quarterback, too.
Well,
Watch out.
It's going to be. It's just so funny what these bowl games have evolved into. Remember when we were kids, like the bowl game was like such a big thing, and now it's just totally an exhibition. It's just
I used to go to the Independence Bowl all the time.
Oh yeah, of course.
I used to go to
I went this year.
Notre Dame LSU game, Michigan State LSU game.
Absolutely.
2 Independence Bowls. I want
your local reliable legal team is Mahan Law Firm. Remember, you can get in touch with Mahan Law Firm by dialing them up at 225-926-8533 or online at mahanlawfirmla.com. They can help you with personal injury, business organizations, wills and trusts, successions and probate, family law, entertainment law, all over at Mahan Law. Mahan Law Firm, located right here in Baton Rouge. As we said, 50 years of combined experience, 225-926-8533. And right now, they are offering virtual appointments. So if you need a face-to-face with your legal representative, but you're not too keen on going out and face-to-face, they can help you out with a virtual appointment right now online at mahanlawfirmla.com. That is mahanlawfirmla.com. We're going to cut out a little early today.
Hey.
We're going to head over to the new DL, get going over there. We got some stuff that we need to get to. Mitzi's in the studio. Katie and I need to purchase some tickets.
For what?
LSU-Auburn tomorrow night.
Oh, y'all going?
Yeah.
Is it here? Or?
No, it's at Auburn. Basketball.
Y'all going?
Yeah, we're going. We're sending the balcony Bengals over there, a group of students, and then me and Little Jay and Kelly are heading up there.
I love that.
Tomorrow after we get off the air. Willie Wade and the crew, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I went and saw them. I went to the Badger game, man. They're playing. It's wild to see a program that played no defense be the best on defense.
Isn't it crazy?
In such a quick turnaround.
It is. All right, everybody have a great day. Happy New Year. We appreciate your interaction. Make sure you hit that like button, that comment button, that share button before we get out of here. YouTube, Facebook, JordyCulottaShow.com. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.